So you're interested in growing different varieties of avocados, but you just don't know when they will flower and fruit. We're going to take a look at that today here in my tropical garden in Modesto, California, Zone 9B. But first, if you like this channel, make sure to click the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Comments and questions, leave them in the comments section below. I do my very best to get back to everybody with their comments and questions. So let's head to my front yard and we will take a look at a couple of avocado trees I have growing, and they're flowering and setting fruit. So we're back here at my multi-grafted avocado tree, and I wanted to just show you guys, here we are in late April, and I just wanted to show you guys how the progression of from flower to setting fruit goes. And as I had mentioned before, this tree has, at last count, about 6 or 7 different varieties on it. And it is easy to see the different varieties at this time of year because take a look. You see the red leaf sections? Those are Guatemalan hybrids. For example, this one right here is a Gigante avocado, produces 4 3-pound avocados. As a matter of fact, I have one right here. As I've shown in many times other videos. Still got a couple more months before it'll be ripe, but let's take a look at some of the other different varieties that's producing fruit. For example, right here is a Gigante, and it's starting to put out flowers. That's not much. There's one right there. It's a very beautiful, big leaves and big red leaves on the Gigante. So yeah, that's one. Let's see. And right here is Surprise. The leaves are a lot narrower than the Gigante, but Surprise is also a Guatemalan, I think it's a Mexican Guatemalan hybrid, and it has really dark leaves, dark green leaves, as opposed to some of the other Mexican varieties that I have. But take a look at that up there. That way up there is Gigante. I had grafted onto this tree a couple years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, and it is taken off. As you can see, it's probably the largest of this tree, largest graft that I have going. Right here we have the good old Mexicola Grande. Now, let's see if we can see this up close. This lighting, it's a nice cloudy day, so we can see that Mexicola Grande is producing and setting fruit. Now, last year this tree had a lot of fruit on it, and sometimes avocados are alternate bearing. That is, one year you may get a lot of fruit, the next year you may not. And that's one of the reasons why I have different varieties set up on here. So we showed you the Surprise, and we showed you the Gigante, and then this is Mexicola Grande. Let's see, yeah, it's Mexicola Grande tends to be a little more open. The canopy tends to be open. Not ideal because when this thing is set in black fruit, you do not want a lot of sun shining on it, on the fruit, because it will damage the fruit sometimes if it's not tucked in around the leaves. Now here's some more. See if we can focus in on this. This is some more Mexicola Grande. Yeah, they're, well, this camera won't focus. But anyway, that's Mexicola Grande, and it is just setting a lot of fruit. These are crazy. Let's see if I can see that. I need to figure out how to use macro on this. Anyway, here is more Gigante, and in the fall I grafted, let me see, where are we at? I grafted this guy right here last summer. This was a reed. I grafted almost a year ago, and it immediately took off, and look at how good this thing's going. This is reed. And as we can see, reed, while the flowers haven't opened yet, they are there, and it's the first year that I grafted after I grafted it, which is kind of unique. It kind of tells me that Reed is an aggressive grower, but not as aggressive as this guy. And this guy is the famous now Big Black. Some people call it Big Black Johnson, because it was first mentioned to me by a guy named David Johnson. But this thing, I was afraid that it wouldn't set much fruit this year because it was loaded. Unfortunately, most of the fruit got stolen. But yeah, that is, so we got Reed right here, and Reed is just starting to flower. Reed is I believe it's a Guatemalan type. I don't know if it's a hybrid. Maybe some of you guys can leave a message in the description or the comment section and tell me, hey, I'm not sure where Reed is. It does have a little bit of the red leaves, but not nowhere near, say, the Gigante. See that difference? But yeah, this one right here is also a Guatemalan type. I believe it's a Guatemalan hybrid, mainly because look at all those red leaves. This is Queen. And it's flowering, but the flowers haven't opened quite yet. So we've showed you Surprise. We've showed you Gigante. We've showed you Mexico La Grande. We've showed you Reed. And we've got Big Black. So yeah, and let's get back here, and I just want to show you guys. You guys know that I did some massive pruning. When you live in a HOA, you got to keep these things pruned way back. Plus, makes it easier to see if people are in my yard helping themselves to my avocados. But yeah, you can see those two big branches. That is Gigante. It just takes off, and it's a very, very fast grower. So let's come over here, and we'll take a look at the progress on two other ones that avocado trees that I have growing. Now, this is not a multi-grafted. This is Carmen Hass. I did a quick video on Carmen Hass, but man, you can really see the red leaves, and you know, it's clearly a Guatemalan hybrid. And let's take a look, see if we got any fruit setting. Can we see that? It does have some fruit set. This thing is crazy. See that? Setting fruit. This thing is just crazy. Look how beautiful this is. This is a second year in the ground Carmen Hass. It's about 6 feet tall, very healthy. It's in a spot where it's very windy, but it's doing great. Bad thing is, look how close it is to the sidewalk. When this thing's putting out fruit, hopefully folks just respect privacy and not take my fruit. The wife will come out here fighting. This right here, anybody can guess? Clearly it's got red leaves on it. It is also a Gigante. And as you can see right here, it's starting to flower. Gorgeous. So yeah, this is 2 years since I grafted it. It did have a little bit of setback due to the sun. I had to finally put a shade, and I don't shade anything in my yard. I just feel that even though we get hot, the tree's going to have to survive sooner or later. I know some people they shade their trees. I do not, except for I did the Gigante because it is just so sensitive to the heat. So which variety you like depends on your climate and your individual preference for taste. For example, my favorite so far seems to be Reed. I really like Reed. And but if you're a beginner gardener and you want to try something that's pretty darn easy, try Mexico La Grande. It's a very hardy down to about 20 degrees, and it produces delicious fruit. Another one might be Mexicola, the regular Mexicola, because that flowers in late February, early March, and produces fruit in September. That way you get fruit before the first freeze. My name is Jeff. If you like this channel, make sure to click that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Comments and questions, leave them in the comment section below. I do my very best to get back with all the comments and questions. You have a wonderful day.